Welcome! Are you tired of literally battling your own head every single morning? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely demystify exactly how to take care of textured and long hair in this explainer. We're getting into the absolute definitive guide to figuring out what your hair actually wants, because spoiler alert, the rules change drastically depending on what's growing out of your scalp.
Let's be honest for a second. Struggling with frizz, breakage, or waves that just, completely fall flat by noon? It's incredibly frustrating. We've all been there. It really feels like you're fighting your natural texture. And let me tell you, that's an exhausting, losing battle. The truth is, when you fight your hair's natural biology, your hair's gonna win every time.
Okay, let's dive into this. The reality here is that great hair doesn't just happen naturally. Achieving beautiful, healthy hair takes a deep understanding of its unique structural needs. It's not about luck, right? It's about strategy, science, and having the right daily habits.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, curly hair and maximizing moisture. 2, wavy hair and finding balance. 3, long hair and retaining length. And 4, the ultimate scalp foundation.
Jumping right into Section 1, curly hair and maximizing moisture.
If you take away only one thing from this first section, let it be this. Curly hair care is fundamentally a battle for hydration. It's a constant mission to maximize and lock in that moisture. And to understand why, you just have to look at the biology. Your curl pattern isn't just, a pretty aesthetic shape, it's a literal physical structure. Think of the spiral shape of the hair shaft like a biological bottleneck. It physically blocks the natural oils produced by your scalp from traveling down the length of the strands. And that is exactly why curly hair is naturally so much drier than straight hair.
Now, because of that lack of oil distribution, curly hair gets totally starved. When those strands are deprived of the moisturizing oils that are trapped up at the root, the hair cuticle opens up, trying to pull moisture right out of the air, which means, hello frizz. This whole chain reaction leads to severe shrinkage and honestly, worst of all, breakage when we try to force an incorrect routine onto those fragile, dry strands.
So how do we fix it? Well, we do it by treating curly hair like the delicate fabric it actually is. Step 1. Wash less. You want to protect those natural oils, applying a sulfate-free shampoo only to the scalp. Step 2 is a non-negotiable weekly commitment. You've got to deep condition for 30 minutes to manually add back that moisture your scalp just couldn't deliver. And step 3, air dry when you can, or diffuse on low heat. Why? Because the standard blow dryer creates friction, and friction is the ultimate enemy of a defined curl.
Because your hair physically cannot distribute those essential oils naturally, you really need products that are going to step in and do the heavy lifting for you. This is where a targeted regimen comes in. Using the Dr. Groot Hair Revitalizing Shampoo paired up with their Miracle in Shower treatment is an absolute game changer. It specifically steps in to improve the scalp environment and gives this intense, pliable moisture to the hair shaft. This cuts down on breakage and really locks in that curl definition between washes.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the contrast. We just talked about how exceptionally dry curly hair is, right? But wavy hair, it's actually the least dry of the textured hair types, and it tends to produce way more scalp oil. That biological difference, it dictates an entirely different set of rules.
Which brings us to Section 2, wavy hair and finding balance.
Wavy hair sits in this really awkward middle ground. It's not straight, it's not fully curly, and managing it takes a highly delicate balancing act. Because of this, wavy-haired folks often fall into traps that are actually meant for totally different hair types. The biggest mistakes? Applying styling products after the hair has already started to dry, layering on multiple heavy stylers, and just kind of accepting that your waves are going to flatten out completely overnight. See, wavy hair loses its shape so quickly under product weight, so you absolutely have to avoid weighing it down at all costs.
The golden rule for wavy hair is basically less is more. Step 1, apply just one lightweight styler, but, and this is key, do it while your hair is soaking wet, and apply it with your head flipped upside down. Boom, immediate volume at the roots. Step 2, always scrunch upward. You want to encourage that wave to spring up rather than stretch out. And step 3, whatever you do, don't skip the refresh. Between wash days, don't overwash, just use a really light water mist to reactivate the product that's already sitting in your hair.
And this brilliantly illustrates why product choice matters. Because wavy hair produces more scalp oil and needs more frequent washing for volume, buildup is a massive issue. Enter the 76% rule. Dr. Groot Hair Thickening Shampoo is actually clinically proven to remove the buildup clogging your scalp pores by a staggering 76%. Formulated with biotin, rosemary oil, caffeine, and prebiotics, it gives wavy hair the clean, balanced scalp foundation it desperately needs to avoid being weighed down.
Moving right along to Section 3, long hair and retaining length.
Once your hair gets past a certain point, caring for it is way less about shaping a texture and entirely about preservation and endurance. Basically, long hair care is fundamentally a moisture management exercise. Think about it. The ends of long hair are literally years old. They've been exposed to the sun, the heat, and the friction for ages. They're structurally super vulnerable. And because they're so incredibly far from the root, they're desperately starved of those natural scalp oils we talked about earlier.
To preserve that hard-earned length, you need a highly protective routine. You absolutely must start with a gentle, detergent-free cleanser so you aren't creating a moisture deficit from the very first step. Next, make the switch to a leave-in conditioner. You see, a traditional rinse-out conditioner only has a few minutes to penetrate the hair, which just isn't enough for old, dry ends. A leave-in gives you that crucial, longer-lasting moisture. And finally, you gotta incorporate regular scalp massages to stimulate blood flow right to the follicles.
If you seriously want to grow long hair, the Dr. Groot Roll-On Serum is an absolute hero product. It's packed with biotin, caffeine, and niacinamide. What makes it so brilliant is that you apply it directly to your scalp between washes. It actively targets the follicle environment, which is where long hair growth actually begins, delivering nutrients straight to the source to support stronger, longer strands over time. Let's move to and see how this builds over a timeline. Week 1, you get a fresh trim. By week 4, you are aggressively protecting those newly vulnerable ends with moisture. Week 8, you're already scheduling your next appointment. And by week 12, you are trimming again. Why? Because split ends travel up the hair shaft like a literal zipper. Trimming every 8 to 12 weeks is absolutely non-negotiable. If you don't cut that damage off, it's just going to travel upward, and the length you're trying so hard to protect will just break off anyway.
Finally, Section 4, the ultimate scalp foundation. This brings us perfectly to our final unifying conclusion. Whether you've got tight curls, loose waves, or hair cascading all the way down your back, it all converges right here. Scalp health drives everything. It is the universal baseline. Growth, retention, moisture, volume, the whole shebang, it all starts beneath the surface. You can't grow a beautiful garden in toxic soil, right? Well, you can't grow beautiful hair from an ignored, unhealthy scalp either.
Let's quickly summarize our actionable takeaways from this explainer. First off, stop fighting your biology. Match your routine to your specific texture. Second, consistency beats quick fixes every single time. And third, shift your focus to the scalp. Utilizing science-backed products like the Dr. Groot line we talked about ensures you're clearing buildup, delivering nutrients, and actually setting your hair up for success from the root down.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder the next time you step into the shower. Look at your current routine and ask yourself, are you just treating the symptom at the ends, or are you actually nurturing the source at the root? Honestly, once you make that mental shift, your routine will never be the same. Thanks for joining me on today's explainer, and hey, here's to your healthiest hair yet.